Hello everybody, how's it going? Ben Gothard here, founder and CEO of Gothard Enterprises and author of CEO at 20, Little Book for Big Dreams. Now today I want to talk about business partnerships. Now the reason that I want to talk about this is because when you are thinking about going into business with somebody, about forming a partnership with them, that is a huge commitment. Right? It is a commitment of your time, it is a commitment of your resources, and it is a commitment of, it is truly a trust between two individuals over business, right? And so what can happen is if the two partners or the two individuals start off going in the same direction, over time that might not, that same vision that everybody had in the beginning, it might not be there further down the road, right? And so there are tons of horror stories that you hear about people with bad partners. There's litigation, there's lawsuits, there's all sorts of things that can go wrong, and so many things that you need to look out for when choosing a business partner. So in order to really mitigate all of your risk, right, I think it's helpful to know what sort of people to look for in the beginning, and not only the type of people, but what sort of partner you should be looking for in order to have a very cohesive and strong partnership for the remainder of that venture. Okay, so I want to break it down into three things that I look for. The first one is integrity, the second one is connection, and the third one is chemistry. Okay, now let's talk about integrity. Now, as part of integrity, I think one of the biggest things that you should look for in a partner, and again, this is only my opinion, feel free to disagree, but I think that honesty is one of the most important things to look for in a business partner. If you know that the individual that you're going to put your name and reputation in line with, that person who you are proud to say, this is my partner, and they're going to say the same about you, I would like to know that that person is going to be honest and is going to be very transparent in everything that they do, right? Because I need to know that when they tell me something, it's the truth. When they're talking to customers, they're saying the truth, and that they know that I'm going to reciprocate that honesty and that transparency right back, right? So it's very honest and straight up. The next one is trustworthy. Now this is similar to honesty, right? But I need to know that if I have something that is a kind of a confident or sensitive piece of information, and I tell this person, I tell my partner, I need to know that they're not going to tell anybody else. I need to be able to trust them to keep my confidential information, especially the sensitive business information between the two of us. I need to know that that's locked down with the two of us, right? And so, in addition to being honest, this person needs to be very trustworthy. In addition, as part of integrity, I think business partners need to be ethical, right? If you're going to run a business, a long-term business where you're interacting with customers, you're providing value to people, you're doing a lot of work, good work in the community, and you're just running a business, a very long-term business, I think you need to find somebody who is an ethical individual, right? Because if you're going to bend the rules and cut corners and not do things how it is appropriate that they be done, and I'm not talking about being innovative or creative, that's a completely different story, but I'm saying not doing anything illegal or immoral or unethical, right? Because I want to be a partner with somebody who I know is going to help me hold both of us to a very high ethical standard, so that is one of the things that we can say to our customers, we are one of the most ethical companies in this industry. And that we're never going to do anything to put a bad name on you. We're not going to ruin your reputation as our client, and we just ask that we all reciprocate that level of ethical and high level of business operation. Okay, so as part of integrity, honesty, trustworthy, being ethical, those are all really important things. I also think that your business partner or potential business partner needs to have a very good reputation. Okay, if you are partnering with somebody and people, and I'm not saying as much as like what people think of them, is he kind of a cool guy or a smart guy, not so much that, but when they hear that person's name, do they think of somebody who is he's very authoritative, or she's very authoritative in their space? Do they know what they're talking about? Do they hold themselves well? Are they articulate? How do they handle themselves in social situations, right? What is their reputation? When somebody is describing your partner, what are they saying about them, right? These are all important things that you should keep in mind, at least in my opinion, when picking a business partner, right? Because if your partner has a bad reputation, that could reflect poorly on your business, and that could have serious long-term negative implications. Okay, and the last part of integrity, and then I want to move on to connection, is the ability to follow through. When this person says that they're going to do something, are they actually going to do it? Or when they say, I'm going to have this done by Friday, is it going to be in your email inbox on Friday? Is it going to be there? Are they going to do the things that they say that they're going to do? Because if they do, then that is somebody that you want to be a partner with, or at least that's somebody that I would want to be a partner with, right? Because I don't want to have a business partner who they say, okay, I'm going to get X, Y, and Z done, but they get half of X done, and then they just say, oh, whatever, it doesn't really matter, right? Because if I'm going to be getting A, B, C done, and they're doing X, Y, Z, and I get A, B, C done, I'm expecting them to get X, Y, Z done so we can move forward together cohesively. But if they're not going to do the things that they say they're going to do, you might want to find somebody else, right? And so, again, integrity to me is very important. I'm looking for, first and foremost, an individual, a person that I can trust, that I feel is very honest, that I know is ethical, that has a good reputation, and that will follow through on what they say at all times. And I only want to do business with people with very high integrity. Okay, and the second one is connection. And the thing about connection that is important to me is when I want to get into a business venture with somebody, I want it to be a very long-term business, right? I don't like to do things for the short term because I don't want to find a tip or trick to make a little bit of money here and maybe a loophole here. That's not what I'm about. For me, I would rather find somebody that I really get along with, that I can form a long-term partnership with, right? That it's very stable, it's secure, we both know we're going to show up every single day to do what we say we're going to do, right? And so that being said, you spend a lot of time with your business partner, right? You're just in the same room with them, you're in their vicinity, you are communicating with them on a regular basis, right? And so what I think even before the business side of it, and I think chemistry is more the business side, connection is more the personal side. Do you get along with this person as an individual? Can you stand spending 10 minutes in a room with them, or 10 hours in a room with them, right? Like is this somebody who you get along with, right? And some questions, two questions that I would always ask are, one, would you introduce this person to your family? Right? Because I'm a very family-oriented person. I happen to think that if I'm a partner with somebody and I have a family like a crawfish boil or something, I want to invite my business partners to that, because I want them to know who I am, and I want to be very transparent about who I am, and so I would invite them to a crawfish boil, right? And so, would you introduce them to your family? The second one, would you grab a beer with them? Right after work, even when you don't have to be hanging out with them, even when the work day is done, you finish doing all the professional stuff, would you go hang out with them? Would you go play basketball with them? Would you go work out with them? Right? Would you do things outside of work with this individual? And if the answer is yes, then okay, great, you have a connection, right? And you two get along at a personal, fundamental level, right? And again, it goes back to that long-term thinking of, if I'm going to be a partner with you, if we're going to be in a very long-standing professional relationship, then I need to know that I get along with you, that I like you as a person, right? Can I talk about things that I wouldn't talk about with most people? Can we talk about meaningful things? Can we talk about deep things? Can we have a real connection? Okay, so I'm looking for that. First, I'm looking for integrity. Second, I'm looking for a personal connection. And then third, I'm looking for chemistry, specifically business chemistry, right? And what I mean by that is, do you two, you and your partner, have skill sets that complement each other? right? And so, I've been doing a lot of studying on individual strengths and weaknesses of people, right? Like we all have our different strengths and weaknesses. And so out of all the research that I've done, it seems to me, and for personal experience I can agree, that it seems to me that the best teams, right, the best partnerships are where the strengths of one individual and the weaknesses of one individual very well mesh with the strengths of the other individual and the weaknesses of the other individual. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's say person A is a really good speaker and has a lot of good social skills and good communicator and is very powerful at influencing, right? Then the other person is more technical, more numbers guy, more back office or gal. Okay, so now you have these two facets of this one person can be the face of the brand, they can do the speaking, they can do the writing. This other person can do more of the numbers, more of the technical stuff. Okay, so they're playing on each other's strengths and weaknesses, right? Your strengths should be compensating for your partner's weaknesses, and your partner's strengths should be compensating for your weaknesses, right? And so that way, you two can build together a very well-rounded team. Okay, so not everybody's going to be strong in every asset and in every skill set, right? And it's something that if we're self-aware, we recognize that, right? For example, I'm very comfortable on camera, right? I enjoy communicating with others and speaking with other people, building relationships, but I'm not the kind of guy that enjoys doing spreadsheets all day and crunching numbers and doing more of like the technical number crunching side, right? So when I look when I see somebody who's really good at that, then that person is a good potential partner for me because they're more the number side, I'm more the people side, and it works out, right? So I challenge you to really try to understand what your strengths and weaknesses are, especially when you're looking for a partner who can help you to compensate for your weaknesses by that being their strength, right? So together you got to form that well-rounded team, and then beyond that, do y'all work well together? Right? Just because things work out on paper and just because things are supposed to be perfect, like let's say a numbers guy and myself, on paper we're a great team because we make up for each other's strengths and weaknesses. But when we start working together, when we start collaborating, it just doesn't click, right? Sometimes that happens. Sometimes they may have a lot of integrity. You may be great friends with them and you get along with them at a very personal level. There's a great connection there. But then when you start working together, y'all butt heads on something. You just have two different ideas of where you want to go. You have a different vision, and y'all can't really collab on something and come together to form a whole that is greater than the sum of its parts. So these are all things that, in my opinion, are very important when trying to decide on who to partner with in business, right? Because partnerships can be incredibly impactful to the growth of your business. They can help you get more traffic. They can help you make sales. They can help you build your brand at a high level from an aerial view. And so, in order to truly understand who is a good person or company, even if it's company to company partnership for you, I think that these things that we've spoken about today are going to be incredibly impactful. So if there's anything that I missed, please let me know. But you guys have a fantastic day. I hope this has been helpful to you. Let's build a better world together. Bye-bye.